All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get this started by explaining the strategy on the way up, and then I'll go into the short detail on the way down. If you know the strategy going up, you already know it going down if you've been here for a while. But I'm going to go over that, and then I'll open up the questions. If you have any questions, whenever I'm done with this, type in the live Q&A questions. I'm going to answer everyone's questions that way. But basically, what I do is I use three indicators. I use the 9 EMA, which is the green line you see, the 20 EMA, which is the white line, and then the VWAP, and then of course volume at the bottom. But basically on the way up, what I'm looking at is I'm looking for high day breaks or micro pullbacks. And that's how I determine my entry point. So right here, if I saw this spike on this one, I'm going to draw a key level right here on that. And it's just because there's multiple forms, multiple places where it intersected, it rejected. The wick crossed over there, but this wick rejected off of it. So that's the key level on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to watch as it's coming down and coming back up to break that high. And then I'll take my entry and I will scale out up here. Say I entered right here at 1440 or 1450. What I would do is I would scale out as it's going up to take some profits immediately. And then we have this high up here where there's another one. So we would have scaled out up here in this area. The first time we would have sold the rest of our shares up under our entry point here. And then we would have re-entered up here in this area. And basically what I'm looking for, say I enter the stock right here. What I'm looking for is it to move up and I can take profits. Once that 9 EMA is above our entry point, like I said, if I entered here at 1460, I'm going to scale some profits up here near 1475, maybe half of my shares. And then the rest of them that I'm holding, I'm going to let ride all the way up the 9 EMA as the 9 EMA rises. So take profits at 1475 here. If I entered at 1460 for 25 to 50% of my position, I'm going to let it pull back. The 9 EMA crossed the entry point over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the rest of my shares and let it ride that 9 EMA. And I'm going to close the full position when I see a candle open under. So I would have closed the position right here on the way up. And I'm still watching it and I'm looking at the high of day again. And then I'm going to re-enter again up here. Whenever I see it break, you might run into false breakouts here, but if you enter a stock, you need to look at the level twos. If you're looking at the chart, you're going to enter and you're going to catch the false breakouts. Like right here, I can guarantee you that the level two bid side did not cross over these levels. So that would have prevented you from buying the false breakouts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait and I'm going to watch again for a re-entry on the level two bid side. The chart may say up here 1515, but the level two bid side, what people are paying for it, may say 1510. And all that means is it's not going to break resistance unless people are paying over that key level for the price. So I'm waiting for the bid side to break over this. Then over here, I could have re-entered and I would have rode it up with that 9 EMA, exit again over here. Full position as soon as it opens under. And you can keep doing that as the stock runs over and over. And that's just a way of being safe and, minimizing your losses. If you buy, like for instance, if you would have bought over here in these false breakouts, you would have sold your position immediately and you would have kept trying and kept trying. Then eventually you would have got it. And you have to be consistent with it. If you take a loss on a play right when you enter, the worst thing you can do is not re-enter at that same level. The technical analysis is always right, but the entry timing is what's going to be wrong. And there's really no way to judge that. But as far as going down on a play, let me see where this one topped out. This is what I'm looking for on short entries. See if I can give you an example right here. Basically what I'm looking for on a short entry is of course the 9 and the 20. I use the 20 EMA for short entries. And what I mean by that is this white line right here. You see it dip under over here. I'm going to short the position right here when I see a candle open under that 20. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it ride down. Just like on the way up, it's going to ride that 9 EMA on the way down. And I'm going to cover that position when a candle opens over it. So if I would have shorted this position, I would have shorted right here at $16.11. And I would have covered down here. at 1574. But same way going up as it is going down, you're using the 9 EMA. My short entry is under the 20. That just means it's bearish. It's going to keep going down because the sellers are in control. And the way to get out of the short position is to watch that 9 EMA. As it comes down, you're going to see it bounce off of it again. And you guys watched me do this live yesterday. And it's very simple. It's actually easier to make money on the way down than it is on the way up, because on the way up you see where it hesitated, so you can use those same levels. For instance, over here, if I'm looking left on the chart, I see that this right here is a key level. So I know that if I short right here, I may have to cover in this area if it reverses, but I'm waiting for it to break under that, and I'm going to let it keep going. It's very, very, very easy to judge a stock on a short as to where it can go. And when you see the 9 EMA and the 20 separated so far away from this VWAP right here, there's a good chance that you're going to see it pull back to that VWAP. I actually shorted this right here live yesterday for this VWAP, and I covered right here whenever I seen it reverse off of the VWAP. But shorting is it's not something everyone can do unless you have a brokerage that caters to day traders. I know there's hard to borrow shares, but if you have a brokerage like Lightspeed or CMEG, you can locate those shorts, and you can actually pay a fee to get the shorts, the shares to actually short it. If you have TD Ameritrade and stuff like that, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. But if you're making money on the way up with momentum plays, and the stock runs, $5 in a matter of an hour or 2 hours, we know it's going to go back down. Plays don't run dramatically and stay. They run dramatically and they crash back down. So you can make money going both ways. And that's what this is. And I just started implementing this. I've never talked about it before because I didn't want to confuse the people that I've been teaching. But as far as shorting goes, you know where the stock's going to go. You have your key levels determined. Look left on the chart, and if it goes below that, you can keep holding, but your cover is over that 9 EMA right here. And you can see it popped over. You would have covered here, came back up, and then bounced back below it, but it started going up after that. I'm going to open it up for the questions now. I'm going to scroll through these and see the questions people are asking me. Being late to the game with your strategy, is there some previous information that you have issued out? Person go back, start pointing to read through. Yes, I post on my YouTube. I actually have a video on my YouTube explaining the strategy as far as going up goes, but this one is going to be one that more so explains it going down. So just subscribe to that YouTube channel, and I'll keep you guys updated. Do you use Webull for charting, then order with DOS? Yes, I use Webull for charting, which is what you see right here. And then when I'm live trading, you see my DOS trader screen up here at the top. And basically, when I have my trading screen up here, you guys will see exactly when I enter, exactly when I exit, when I short, when I cover. You guys see everything. It's fully transparent. How much should I risk on each trade with a smaller account in between $15,000 to $3,000? Is it better to trade on margin or a cash account when starting? If you want to day trade full time actively, you're going to want to use CMEG if you have under $25,000. That's what I'm using, and that's why I'm able to day trade unlimited. You pay a fee for it. It's $125 a month. There's a YouTube video about that. But I put my full position size into it. I'm good enough at trading to minimize those losses when I do lose. So I'm really not risking that much by putting my entire portfolio into it. Of course, when I get to, $25,000, $30,000, I'm not going to be putting my entire portfolio into these plays. I'll have a set share size that I'm willing to buy, whether it's, a $10 stock and below. I may buy 1,000 shares. If it's, $10 to $20, I may buy 500 and so on. So I have a set share size that I'm willing to buy at all times, depending on my account size. And there's a lot of people asking about options. The guy that was going to talk about options is out of town this weekend. So we'll have him on sometime next week and we'll talk more about options. But I don't trade options. I solely scalp, small scalp. I'm at small cap stocks. That's kind of how I trade. And that's how I built the wealth that I did last year. Explanation of 9 and 21 EMA. And that's kind of what I went over a minute ago. And there's a YouTube video out on this where I explain the 9 and the 20 EMA and how I use them. All right. Let me see. So you only short the stock that previously just went up? Yes. I only short a stock after it's ran on momentum. I'm not gonna, just like buying a stock, I'm not gonna buy a stock unless there's a reason to buy it. And if I see a stock with momentum, I'm gonna wait for that first breakout. I'm gonna buy on that micro pullback or the high day break. Same with shorting. When these momentum stocks run dramatically to a level they shouldn't, they're gonna come back down and they're gonna level out. If a $5 stock runs to $10, you can guarantee, unless it's huge news, that it's probably going to run back down close to the area it started at. And that's what you see with these momentum plays, and that's why shorting is so important. And like I said, I haven't wanted to talk about it because I don't want to confuse people. If you're trying to learn the way up, you're going to confuse yourself trying to learn the way down. You have to master one part of it at a time. Would you be willing to show your short on SPY you played? Um, I have to go back and look. There's a picture of it that I posted that I can go over, but it's actually more predictable than small caps because the key levels are very accurate when you're using the SPY and like the larger cap stocks and so on. But it's the same concept. I was just looking like this right here. I saw the SPY run up. I shorted when it broke below this and actually looked just like this play. And then I covered just like this. So it's the same concept, just on a larger scale. Can you have a short position order present in case it crash while trading momentum? T. Anderson, basically what I'm gonna what the way we trade is we're exiting on the 9 EMA after we let a stock run up. So we're not even holding that position anymore. We're waiting on the break below. So for instance, if we bought this stock right here, we would have sold over here. And then all we're waiting on is for it to break below the 20 EMA. And then we're going to short it. And then we're not going to cover until it breaks back over that that 9. So we short here, we cover our short over here. So you see how much money you would have made going down right there. And do you draw key levels? Yes. Every day I'm trading a stock, I have the key levels mapped out just like I do now. For everyone that's following along, as the play moves, I'll continue to map out key levels just like this. If you see a halt play that you think is going to crash, do you put in a limit order for a short or do you wait and see? Unless you're an experienced trader, you should not be trading right out of a halt. But what I do is I have my key level mapped out. Say this play ran up to here and then it halted and then it opened up here. I'm going to short that position when it drops back below the level it halted at. Usually when you see plays halt, they'll open here and then they'll crash down. But my short position is when it breaks that key level of where it halted at. Is Weeble level 2 a good option? It's not as accurate. What Weeble level 2s do is they show you the best buy or the best bid and the best ask. The direct access that caters to day traders, you're going to get the most out of those level 2s. And the people that follow me trading live, they see that. Sometimes those level 2s get to moving so fast you can't read them. But with Weeble, it just shows you the best on both sides. Why do you choose 9 and 20 versus others like the 10 and the 50? I've tried every EMA, and for my strategy, those are the ones that work the best. For instance, if I use the 10 EMA, whenever I'm exiting a position, I'm going to lose money simply because it's a larger time frame. So if I'm using the 10, like right here, to exit, I'm probably going to exit where that 20 is. So it's a small difference in pennies when it comes down to that if you're trading on a larger scale. The 10 and the 50, if I waited to short on the 50 EMA, I probably wouldn't short this position at all. If I shorted it maybe down here in this area. So you're losing money with my strategy if you're using those different time frames, the 9 and the 20 versus the 10 and the 50. Why not short at 1206? I'm just giving examples. I'm giving examples on this. So I'm not looking at any of this, but you could have shorted over here as well. At 1206, you could have done that and wrote it down. You could, but I'm just using one part of the chart here for an example. Follow him on Bentley Trading. He posts a lot of great education. Covers 9 and 20. Yeah, if you don't follow the YouTube, definitely do it because I'm going to start posting more educational content. Talk more about the VWAP importance and how it relates to the EMAs. Basically, every line that you see on my chart is only used for support or resistance. If the stock is above these lines, it is going to be bullish. The buyers are in control. If the candles are below these lines, it is going to be bearish. The sellers are in control. And you see it pulled down here, and it rejected right off that VWAP and reversed. So VWAP is going to be support at all times. When it drops below that, you see a candle open under it. You can continue the short if you want, but you can cover with that 9 EMA. So it's just used as support. Sorry, but my question was, how do you draw key levels? Are those from the daily, 1 minute only? You're gonna have to go back and watch the YouTube video because I explained that in detail. But yes, the daily chart, hourly chart. When you're drawing key levels, you want to go back to the daily chart and you want to taper down to the 1 hour, the 10 minute, the 5 minute, the 1 minute, and see if they all line up. If you're trading a play that is moving very, very rapidly, you don't have to go back to the daily chart. You know exactly where it's going to go from just looking left in a fast time frame. When you're trading stocks under $10, you're going to see resistance in increments of 25 cents. So if I buy a stock at $5, I know there's going to be resistance at 525. So I'm going to scale my position at 525 and then wait for 550. Just to be safe. It's all mental levels. The day traders that are trading these that buy a stock at $5, they're not saying I want to sell this at $5.17. They're saying I want to sell it at 525. So any momentum stock, you're going to see resistance in 25 and 50-cent increments. Whole dollar, the whole dollar market is always a huge area, $5, $6, $7. Those are going to be huge areas for resistance or support. How much is your stop loss and what are you watching the bid or ask when stopping out? I'm watching the bid on that. If I immediately enter a trade with a small account, my stop loss is going to be it's going to be 10 cents. If I enter a stock at $5 waiting for that breakout, my stop is going to be $4.89, right under the 10-cent mark. As my account grows and I have more money to keep re-entering these plays, it's going to be 5 cents. If I say enter this stock right here at 16.25, it breaks over 16.25, rejects back down, I'm going to sell within a 5-cent range in a big account because I can re-enter at 16.25 again. And then if it false breaks out, I can sell it and then re-enter again. With a small account, you can't do that simply because of commissions will burn your gains up. So I use a 10 cent and it keeps me in the play longer. It may pull back down to, $16 and 18 cents, but I'm still holding it and then it eventually goes and breaks out. At 12:35, when you entered, how would you know when to exit? How the line completely formed? Let me go look. No, I didn't enter here. I'm literally using this as examples. I'm just saying if I did enter there, I didn't enter this stock here. What I'm showing you guys they're not trades that I made. I'm just showing you the chart and showing you examples of what I would have done. If anyone is asking questions, ask in the live Q&A questions area. Keep the questions coming, or we will close it out. I don't want to hold people long. I just kind of wanted to skim through and give everyone kind of an idea of what it was that I was doing. Any advice for someone who has uh, a day job and also wants to trade? Yeah, I trade live from 6:30 CST up until 10. I can change the hours if I need to, and then I get back on again for a second time every day from 1:30 to 3 CST. So I'm live twice per day. So it depends on what time you're going to work. But if you can just hop on for 1 hour a day, you're going to learn something, and it's actually better for new traders because you're not sitting in front of the screen all day. If you are sitting in front of the screen, you're a new trader, you're going to overtrade and you're going to lose money. But if you're sitting in front of the screen for 1 hour a day, you're going to take your profits and you're going to walk away. What brokers do you recommend? There's a YouTube video. There's a YouTube video explaining the CMEG and the brokers that I use. So watch the YouTube video on how to day trade under 25K, and that will answer that question for you. Um, Sorry if you had entered at 1235. What would be your play? Let me see, 1235. I wouldn't have entered here just because I know this is going to be a head and shoulder pattern. Big thing about day trading is knowing the patterns before they actually happen. So when I saw this right here reject this level and come up and break here, reverse, I knew it was going to be a head and shoulder pattern. So this line here, and you can see it came over and it broke that. So I wouldn't have traded this. I would not have traded this unless it broke over 1650. Now on the other hand, over here I would have traded in this area, but you see the head and shoulder pattern here. Here's the shoulder, here's the head, and here's the shoulder. I know it has to break this level here for me to want to enter, so I wouldn't have entered at that level. How many trades a day will you be making long and short with your small account? The most day trades I'll make, yesterday I did a lot just because I was teaching what I was doing, but the most I'll ever take as far as going up is going to be 2 to 3. And as far as going down, it's going to probably be 1 to 2. But when you enter these plays that run multiple dollars, you're going to catch a point where they crash back down. You can make $1 or 2 per share. So most as far as buying and selling and shorting will be like 5 trades per day max, and that's over trading. Perfect. It's worth the 15 for a week. Come check it out. I appreciate that, Hammer Time. I know you've been in here learning a lot since you started. Um, Trading platform to use if PDT is not an issue. Lightspeed. If you have over $25,000, you want to use Lightspeed because you can actively day trade and your order execution is perfect. And you won't miss any of these plays that I'm alerting. Can you go over another example? Do you want me to go over an example of when to buy or when I'm shorting? Buy. Yeah. Uh, Throw out a ticker magic maybe that you traded yesterday, and I'll show you what I would have done if it was a momentum play. If it wasn't a momentum play, I wouldn't have traded it. So throw a ticker out there for me, and then I'll show you what I would have done. SPY on the downside. Let me go to SPY real quick. Maybe this will help everyone. Okay, yeah, I had key levels mapped on the SPY over here. Yeah, actually, it's still pulled up where I actually did it. As far as the SPY goes, these key levels are actually insane. I'm gonna delete all of this. But you can see it. I had a key level here. It came up, pulled back down here, reversed off of that. But as far as the SPY short, our entry would have been. I didn't really see it. I didn't enter the SPY yesterday. I just shorted it. On the short position, I had this key level down here, and then I had a key level right here on this one. So I was just watching for the breaks below these levels. But basically, it dropped below here, and then I shorted at this position. And then it never broke back over the 9 EMA, and a candle never opened, and I held through. I had this key level, it broke below that, then I had trouble getting back over it, and then it came back down, and then I covered right here in this area. Just because it broke below the 20, I held it, it rode the 9 EMA down, pulled into the 90 MA a few times, and then when it broke over that 90 MA, I covered again. Any comments to help with identifying a head and shoulder pattern regular, inverse early? Yeah. Let me go back to the other one. Those are actually the easiest things to recognize before they actually happen. This may not be a good example. Trying to find something where I can actually show you. $12.35. I can't find that part. Basically, what you're looking for. This can be an example right here. It's not a good example. But you see this part of the chart. It runs up, rejects right here, pulls back, and then it comes up and breaks over. So you see the shoulder here and the head here. So when this drops back below this point on this side, you're automatically assuming it's going to be a head and shoulders. So I would be expecting a reverse and a comeback up to this level. Basically, you see a point right here, and then you see another point right here that is higher than the first. You can assume it's going to be a head and shoulder coming back up. Of course, it wasn't right there, but you see the half of the head and shoulders form. You can assume it's going to be that pattern. What about the end of the day flush? Normally, I don't trade the end of the day. As a momentum trader, you're going to make the most of your money right there around market open for the first 2 hours. And then after that, momentum steadily dies throughout the day. So as a momentum trader, before I started my Discord, I didn't trade in the afternoons. I only get on now just to teach people and it kind of explain everything I'm doing. But as a momentum trader, you're going to make the most money when the market's most volatile, and that's at open. What are the most important patterns we should know? You should know every pattern. You can read multiple charting books. Micro pullbacks, bear flags, wedges. When there's a micro pullback, you're going to see a bear flag. A bull flag form, a wedge, anything like that. You want to know cup and handles. You want to know head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, round tops, round bottoms. There's just so many, and I won't be able to explain those in detail. You're going to have to read a book on those. But as part of being a successful day trader is seeing the patterns before they actually fully form, and that's going to keep you from rushing the trades. If I see a cup and handle form, you know, or it could possibly be a cup and handle, I'm not going to rush that trade because I know it could reject and crash down. I'm not going to rush into it just because I see the cup and handle and I think it could go up, because it could easily go south. You have to recognize these patterns and you have to let them play out and work for you. Patience pays when it comes down to technical analysis and pattern recognition. I don't determine. Someone said how to determine a name will have momentum before it happens. I don't determine it's going to have momentum before it happens. I catch the momentum as it's happening. The goal with what I do is to catch the first initial breakout. And what I mean by that is if you have your scanners set up to 5% or whatever it is, you're going to catch the first breakout. Like right here. If I was watching this one, I would have been alerted right here, and there's actually lines there where I was alerted that this stock moved a certain percent. I'm waiting on the break up here, and then we can just keep trading that stock as it's going up. So the important part about this is catching the play within the first breakout. Each time a stock runs, the breakouts are going to get weaker and weaker on the way up. So my goal and job is to find those early. I never know what I'm going to trade the day before it happens. I wake up every morning and then I make my watch list as I go. I know you typically don't take reversal plays, but when you're looking at shorting and the price moves back above the 9 EMA, can you use volume to confirm a bounce? No. If I buy a stock on the way up and I short it on the way down, I'm not re-entering that play. The worst thing you can ever do is buy a stock just because it breaks over the 9 EMA. The problem with these plays is when they do cross back below or above the 9 EMA, they have trouble separating against them, separating away. You can see it broke out over here, came down, and it had trouble like keeping away from it. So you never want to buy that. If you make money on the way up and make money on the way down, don't get greedy, and don't try to re-enter and keep playing it both ways, because at that point, look at this stock right here. It ran all the way up, came all the way back down to where it was. And then what did it do? It started going sideways. So you don't do that. You make money on the way up, on the way down, and then stop trading. In the before head and shoulder example, where the next shoulder did not form, how would you have played that? I wouldn't have entered that stock. I was assuming a head and shoulder pattern was going to form, so that would have kept me from entering it. But it kept going down, so I would have never entered that play. Had it came back up to the next shoulder and broke over the previous shoulder, I would have entered at the high day break over the head. But as far as just looking at it, just assuming and being pessimistic about the chart would have kept me from entering that play. Would you have traded AMD yesterday on the up or waited for the down? Let me look at it. Um, I don't trade large cap stocks like this, but if I was trading it, my entry would have been right here. If I was watching it, I'm on the 5-minute chart now. Right here. That would have been my entry. So I would have bought right here and held through this, and then I would have sold over in this area. So you wouldn't, I would have made from 122 over here until 123. So I made $1 a share on that one. But I don't trade large cap stocks, so this is not something I would have traded. But I wouldn't have played a short position on this one simply because it was going sideways over here for a while, and it didn't run that much. So I imagine there's going to be support right back down here. So if I would have shorted it, I just wouldn't have. Of course, it kept going down, but that's just not something that I would have played. Just from the way that I trade, it would have been a good short position, but that's not something I would have done. Would you say the 5-minute chart is better than the 1 minute on large caps? It depends on how fast you're trying to trade. 1 minute chart is way better for entering on momentum on small caps, because those 5-minute moves can be very dramatic. And if you're trying to exit on the 5-minute chart in a very volatile market, you're going to lose a lot more money than you would on the 1 minute, because you're going to exit a lot later. So on momentum plays and very volatile plays, I'm using the 1 minute. If it's a slower day in the market, I will switch over to the 5-minute because it's a lot easier to read the longer time frames. And hopefully everything I'm saying is making sense to everyone. Hopefully you guys are understanding kind of what I'm talking about. When considering a stock to short, is there a minimum amount that you want it to have gapped up? No. It all comes down to seeing the momentum and the move on the way up. And if you have a $5 stock that moves to $8 in one day, that's $3 in one day. That's a large percentage of the previous stock's value. So there's a good chance it's going to go back down. So I'm waiting on that to go. On that to go up. If I see a stock move, 10 to 25 cents, I'm not going to short it. That's stupid. I want to see that stock move, a very good percent before I start considering a short entry. I'm trying to get over all of this very quickly. I know it's Saturday and everyone has stuff to do. But hopefully I explained everything into enough detail that you guys all understand the concept and you actually see how easy this is because this is very simple. When you think too much into this, you're going to overcomplicate it. The live sessions are incredibly helpful and value. Thank you for taking the time to do this one. Absolutely, Cal. Thanks for Bentley Trading 101 Saturday session. I'm going to bounce out to the gym. All right, I hope you have a good day. Um, and absolutely, I'm glad to help. Like I said, my DMs are always open, everyone. Feel free to ask any questions that you have, and uh, and I'll be glad to help. The only way I can say, if you're skeptical about paying for a service, I'm live free every Thursday on the Traderverse Discord. Come check it out. Watch what I do live, and then you won't have any questions to ask about it as far as that goes. And if this is something that you want to do and you want to join the premium, I'm live every single day, and I'll be glad to have you. And I answer every question that is asked during the live trading as far as the premium members go. Totally appreciate that. Appreciate your time. I appreciate you guys being here. I love doing this. This is my passion. So anytime I'm able to help, I will be glad to hop on. I don't care what day it is of the week, what time it is. If I can ever help, I'm glad to hop on. Believe you will make that back with one trade. Yeah, it's $15 a week. If you can't make that back in one trade, then you probably shouldn't be trading. And I'm not saying that to sound like an asshole. I'm just saying it to be honest. But if you're following my trades, we're gonna lose money, but we're gonna make a lot more than we lose. Um, it's a learning process. Even if you don't trade, just joining the Discord, you're gonna learn a lot. And that's my main goal here is just to teach everyone. Awesome session. Thanks a lot. Premium is worth it. If you're not in it. Best choice I made. Been learning and growing as a trader. Awesome, Hammer Time. I'm super glad to have you here and each of you guys. I feel like I've made a family out of this. I was getting very bored with trading when I first started, and I got to the point where I didn't want to do it anymore. And I've quickly come to realize that my passion is teaching this and helping others become the trader that I became. And anything I can do to help, that's making my dreams come true as well as yours. So uh, if I can ever help, please let me know. Take your strategy and been using it to work on something that works with my job. Absolutely, Geo. Geo said, "Thanks, man. I took your strategy, been using it to work on something that works with my job. Without this Discord, I would have never been able to start the process." That's actually really awesome, and I'm glad you're finding a way to kind of manage your time to be able to hop on. And hopefully, in a few months, that won't be your job anymore. This will, and that's the goal for me is to get the people out of the 9 to 5s and let them enjoy time with their families and live the life of financial freedom. And that's going to be an awesome time when that does happen for everyone. Absolutely, Buns. I'm super thankful to have the opportunity. I I consider myself a manly man, but sometimes I sit here and I think about the people I'm impacting, and I get a little teary eyed because just to know that I'm able to impact just one person's life and change life for them, man, that means the world to me, and that's what I'm here for. Absolutely, I agree 100% with that. But just I have so much more joy out of seeing the people I'm teaching make it. That just lets me know I'm doing something right. To see that I'm able to create financial freedom for other people. This is no longer about me. It's about what I leave behind, and I truly think that I'm building the best day trading team in America. And long after I'm gone, I think my name will be remembered because not because of what I did for myself, but for what I did for others. And I'm super excited and thankful for the opportunity. Draft another 5% per day chart on Excel this morning as a reminder while I wait for my CMAD to clear up. It really is so powerful to put it on paper. Dude, it's 100%, 5% a day is insane. If you start with 500 or 1,000 or 2,000, you're going to be a millionaire in 1 year if you compound 5% per day. And that's just insane to think about. No one wants to think about, the later. They want to think about the now. And if you come at trading with that aspect, how fast can I make $1 million? You're going to go broke. You have to think about those base hits, those 5% gains, and compounding those daily. And when you think of it from that perspective, you'll be a very rich person pretty quickly. Yeah, 3K equals 13K in 30 days. It's insane, man. It's so insane. Absolutely, Buns. And again, I appreciate your kind words. Been around the trading world for a while now, mostly unsuccessful. And listen to Bentley is the mentor you want. He has patience and willing to teach, and he'll reach out if you message him for help. You have almost nothing to lose and nothing to gain. I appreciate that, BNB. That's what I'm here for. Your patience and discipline is so helpful during the live sessions. Yeah, and that's another thing. As a new trader, you're going to panic when you're trading with real money. But if you watch me sit here and trade live, and you see me not panicking, I feel like it kind of helps ease the panic and the anxiety for the people that are in the trade with me, because I alert exactly what we're looking for and exactly what we're waiting for. Would you look at FUV for the last couple of days and point out where? Yeah, this right here will probably be the last chart that I look at. Um, as far as this one goes, I wouldn't have traded this one. The volume was 908,000. I like the volume to be over a million before I trade. If you were trading this one, I'm pretty sure it would have had a very, very large spread. So you'd been down upon entry. But just looking at this chart right here, I would have had a key level mapped out just from yesterday right here. This will be the key level for me in that area, and I would have shorted under that. And you can see what happened is, it bounced around up here and then it came down. And as soon as it broke this key level, it sold off like dramatically. So I would have been watching this level here for a short position, and it would have been successful. 100% best trader team Discord group. Honestly, this group has changed my outlook on life. It's awesome to wake up each day excited about the day because of trading with Bentley Trading Discord. If anyone is on the fence about joining, do yourself a favor and jump on board. T. Anderson, I appreciate that so much. We didn't know each other. We live in the same town. I know there's people in my Discord from all over the world. T. Anderson and I live in the same town, and we never talked before this Discord. So it's crazy how God kind of placed us in each other's lives. And now I look at him as one of my best friends. We talk almost daily through text, and regardless of what it is, but it's crazy how things play out. And I'm super thankful for the opportunity. I'm super thankful for your friendship, T. Anderson, and I appreciate you being here every morning. And I'm just as excited to wake up every morning as you are, and I can't wait to continue this and see what the year brings for each of us. How do you deal with missing out on big profit? An options trade Thursday using the 9 EMA made 20%, but ended up going up 500%. Let me ask you this, Gio. Gio said, how do you deal with missing out on big profit? I had an options trade Thursday using the 9 EMA, made 20%, but it ended up going up 500%. If you were at your 9 to 5 job, Gio, and you made your hourly pay, but you had just watched the stock, would you be pissed that you didn't trade it? Or since you did trade it, would you be thankful that you made 20%. You know, if you didn't make that trade, you would have said, I would have been happy with 20%, although it went 500%. But you did make that trade and you made 20%, but it went 500%. You can't be mad about that. Profit is profit. 20% is huge. When I sell a stock, I don't give a shit what it does after that. I made my profit, and tomorrow I'm going to come back and do the same thing. 20% is huge. Um, when you start thinking from that aspect of it went 500%, I could have made so much more money. You're going to start chasing home run plays, and you're going to end up losing money. Be happy with 1%. And that's just how I am. You'll see once I exit a trade and it continues to run, I don't care. I'm not even going to look at it anymore. So you have to have that mindset. 20% is 20%. And that's a lot bigger than the percentages that I've been making. Um, I have missed some entries due to price moving so quickly when the stock is near resistance about to break the channel. What do you advise to master entry timing? Example, a stock is at 624, about to break 625. Phantom, if we're watching a stock for 10 minutes and we know the key level is 625, you can go ahead and place your limit order for 626. So you can have the order in there already. If you try to place a market order as it breaks, you're going to get filled way higher. So you can anticipate those entries on that. When shorting, do you factor in level 2 data? I was watching Ross Cameron short and he noticed potential hidden buyer. Yes, I'm looking at the level 2s when I short. I'm looking at the bid size. Ross Cameron's a very aggressive trader. You guys watch me and you guys compare me to him every day, and you see the difference in the two of us. Ross is very aggressive. I'm not going to enter a short position until it's under this level, and I know exactly where I need to cover, so I'm not going to cover until I see it over that level on the bid side if I just enter. But after that, I'm looking, and I have my key levels mapped out as the stock goes down, and I know where I'm going to cover that position on the way by looking at the bid side of the level 2s. Yes, sir, Gio, you too. Do you use hotkeys in a short plays? Yes, I use hotkeys to short. You guys watched me do that yesterday, I believe, if you're on the live session. Absolutely, Cal. It's getting time for me to wrap this up. This has been about an hour session, so I don't want to hold anyone too long. So I'll answer a few more questions and I'll hop off of here. I had the same mindset a while until Ryan showed me a 5% each day compounded turns into after several weeks, months, annually. It's insane. Yeah. I started with $500 last year. I'm sure you guys have all heard the story, and I made $2 million in 8 months. And that was not from being an aggressive trader. That was being a smart trader and compounding small gains. Of course, I had days, where I made 25 or 50%, but those may have been 10 to 20 days max out of 252 days, trading days. So it comes down to having that discipline and being okay with small gains. I started this small account challenge last Thursday, so I've been doing it for a week and one day. And you guys have seen me walk away with $20 profit, but I walked away one day with $20 profit, but my account is up 80% in 6 trading days. Are you tackling another steak after this? Geo, I actually just went to brunch before this and ate a steak. So I don't think I'm going to eat another one today. Tomorrow at brunch, absolutely. How do you take how did it take for you to start getting comfortable / confident with your trading? I learned from my losses. I never I never used anyone else to learn. what I did. I watched the most important traders in America, the best day traders. I saw what they were doing, and I knew there was a way I could do it and perfect it. And I busted my ass until I was at that point. I blew my account up 20 times trying to learn this at the start. And it sucks, but we learn from our losses. And by doing that, you build confidence because each time that you lose, you learn a lesson. If you come back and you keep doing the same thing every day after you already lost, then you shouldn't be trading. Learn from your losses, and that's going to build your confidence because each time that that happens while you're live, you're gonna think in the back of your head, okay, I did this yesterday, and I lost money, so I'm not going to do that again. And as you do that more, you're going to build that confidence. I look at trading as a video game. If I fail and I lose money, I don't care. I can minimize those losses and try again. So it takes losing to build confidence, and that sucks. But you have to be able to minimize those losses. Enjoy your weekend, everyone. Cheers. Thanks, brother. You have a blessed weekend as well. Much love. I appreciate everyone for being here. I'm gonna wrap this up. There's two more questions right here. I'm gonna answer these, and I'm gonna hop off of here. Again, I appreciate everyone for being here today. Hopefully, this was very informative for everyone. And if I can ever help, just shoot me a DM, and I'll be glad to help. Using a laptop most days and using wireless internet, does that cancel the need for higher performance platform like Lightspeed? Lightspeed's still gonna be a good platform, but just like a video game, if you play video games live, I don't know, I don't. But you're gonna see lag if you don't have direct plug into your internet. Like my computer is plugged in with the Ethernet cable directly to my modem, my internet modem, and because I was trading on Wi-Fi, and I would notice that I would lag on trades, so it's a little risky. I was in another trade the other day, but was listening to you speak in Discord. It was the first time I successfully scaled out of a trade with confidence. Your insight on level two has been hugely helpful to me. Thanks for all you do in the trading community. Absolutely. Um, I am glad to help. And the stuff that I'm teaching is very, very simple. And there's a lot of experienced traders that are watching, and they're like, "Why the hell did I not think about this before?" But it's little tweaks that you make to your own strategy that make you the best trader you can be. It's not huge changes that you're going to notice along the way that make you a better trader. It's little bitty tweaks that sometimes it takes other people pointing out for you to notice. And hopefully I'm able to continue doing that for traders. So make little tweaks, don't make dramatic changes. And we'll keep it going. I agree. Trading is simple, but no, Matt said, I agree. Trading is simple, but that doesn't make it easy. It doesn't make it easy, but then again, what makes trading hard is everyone overcomplicates it and they look too far into certain things. I have three indicators on my screen, and I consider myself one of the best day traders in America. You see other people with 15 indicators on their screen that are losing money. They're overcomplicating everything and they're looking way too far into it. And that's where you mess up as a trader, is by overcomplicating. The things that I'm teaching, you need to be able to master one of those things at a time before you move on to the next. If you try to master my full strategy at once, you're never going to make it, just because you're going to confuse yourself and you're going to complicate things. And that's all I mean by that. But again, I'm going to close this out. I appreciate everyone hopping on, and hopefully everyone learned a little bit today. And it was a good time talking with you all. But I will see you all bright and early Monday, pre-market, and we'll make some money. Thank you for all you do. Words can express the gratitude. Now, I feel very fortunate to have found you at the beginning of my trading. I know you are saving me years and thousands of dollars on the learning curve. Absolutely, and that's my goal here. Um, And I'm thankful for the opportunity. I'm thankful for each of you guys giving me the chance to do this. Um, but with that being said, be ready Monday pre-market, because I promise you, this week may be one of the biggest weeks that I've had. Market may be bad, but now that we're shorting, we're gonna make a lot of money. So be ready Monday, 6:30 CST, and I can't wait to see you guys there.